Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, child. It's too much. I don't know if y'all heard about this story yet. I kind of think I heard about or seen some headlines, but I didn't, really, I guess, hear the details about what happened until today. This woman, a parent ICU nurse plowed into some vehicles and just, as a result of her irresponsible actions, there were a number of people who lost their life. So this took place in Los Angeles, and it looks like it happened but over the weekend. Let's see, today's the 9th, so maybe happened around the 4th, but apparently, it's a thing. A lot of people are talking about it. So I hadn't come out here and covered anything in the last few days. So I'm like, okay, let's get into this story, because I was talking with my daughter about it, and she's like, I was telling them like, hey, I'm gonna talk about the story of this nurse that apparently plowed into, these vehicles. And she was like, is that the story where there was a baby that was seen flying in the air and landed at the gas station? I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, but I got to research the story and I'll circle back around to you. But y'all, I'm thinking it's the same story, because I said, they say a lot of people been talking about it, and y'all, it's bad. So I want to get into the details of this story. If you do have any information about it, definitely drop a comment. Also, as you come in, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, because as I say, we were random over here, but we definitely get into things. We get into all viral moments, celebrity tea, YouTube guys. Listen, any and everything, we get into it over here. She got something to say, and we're going to talk about it. So today is no different. Today we are going to talk about this crazy nurse who is seen up in court crying after she done took people's lives. And of course, y'all always know the ones who do the most, they walk away with a scratch, if that, on their body. And meanwhile, others have left in body bags. But I want to get into this story and the details surrounding what happened. I mean, it's a sad situation. And listen, so y'all know how I do over here. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna get into one of the news outlets that I came across. So right now we're over on the Los Angeles Times, and I want to play this news clip and just see what kind of information we can get from it. Listen, it's a lot. It's a lot. So y'all, let's get into it. So this is from LA Times, and it says LA nurse who slammed speeding Mercedes into cars, killing 5, arrested by CHP. So let's play this news clip right here and see what they're talking about. Let's get into it. Fair use.
LA County Fire went ahead and initiated their triage procedures. They had 8 patients at the scene that were transported to UCLA Westwood, 1 in major condition and the other 7 in minor condition. As the investigation continued unraveling, we also discovered we had 5 fatalities at the scene, 3 adults, 1 infant, and a unborn child. Within the last hour or so, we've also discovered that there is an additional fatality that was found in the wreckage, adding the fatality count to 6.
All right, so we just showed the little news clip, but let's get into what this article says. Wow, I mean, it's just very disheartening. I just can't even imagine the loved ones of those who didn't survive the accident, those who were injured, even the witnesses, the people who are just bystanders, like you just minding your own business, you at the gas station, you just doing regular everyday stuff, and you see something like that happening. Just looking at it on camera is just like a lot for me. So let's get into this article. It says a registered nurse has been arrested and will be booked on vehicular manslaughter charges in the fiery Windsor Hills crash that killed 5 people, including a pregnant woman, law enforcement sources confirmed to the Times on Friday. Investigators have arrested Nicole Linton, 37, who they said was driving the speeding Mercedes-Benz that smashed through traffic at the intersection of La Brea and Slauson Avenues. Linton is currently in a hospital and is cooperating with California Highway Patrol investigators, sources said. The news of her arrest came as the medical examiner released the name of the pregnant woman who died, Asheray Ryan, 23. Lord, so a woman who was 23 years old died. I wonder if she's the one that was pregnant, because I believe they said, there was someone who was pregnant. Let's carry on with this article. Ryan, 8.5 months pregnant, was with her boyfriend on the way to a doctor's appointment when the Mercedes crashed into their car. She and her boyfriend died, as did their 1-year-old baby and Ryan's unborn child. According to Ryan's sister, the county coroner has yet released official identifications of anyone besides Ryan. Wow. Oh my God. Quote, I already cried. I cried. I didn't sleep one bit. I'm all cried out. Shoshana Kerr, who identified herself as Ryan's sister, said on Instagram, we have to bury 4 people. When Kerr saw the video of the crash shortly after it happened, she knew something was not right. As soon as I see that video, it hit home. It hit different. I felt connected, she posted. Her taking my sister, my nephews, my brother-in-law. She took my son's only cousin. We are so deeply hurt. So, y'all, these are pictures of the accident. Authorities are checking Linton's blood work to determine if she was under the influence at the time of the crash, according to 2 law enforcement sources. She is to be formally charged by the Los Angeles County District Attorney on Monday. A member of the Lintons decided to speak to a Times reporter on Friday. Linton is likely to be charged with killing the unborn child as well as the 5 others. 8 people were also injured in the crash. Surveillance video shows a Mercedes-Benz barreling down a La Brea at high speed as dozens of cars cross the intersection on Slauson. The Mercedes runs a red light and slams into cars in the intersection, then bursts into flames, hurtles into a light pole where it comes to rest. After the crash, a streak of fire burned on the ground. Y'all, this is crazy. Who is this? So here's a picture of, let's see, who is this? Cotty Davis, 22. She's a sister of Windsor Hills crash victim Asheray Ryan, 23, 8 months pregnant, who was killed along with her son Alonzo, almost 1, talks about the loss of her sister. Look at her, the pain on her face, y'all. Smoke could be seen billowing from miles away. Officer Franco Pepe, a California Highway Patrol spokesperson, said Thursday afternoon that 3 adults, including a pregnant woman and an infant, were killed in a crash. Authorities later found another person's remains inside of one of the burned vehicles, he said. That person's gender or age weren't known Thursday night. Authorities took 8 people to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center for treatment, he said. Of those injuries, 6 were teens. One suffered major injuries. Y'all, this was a really bad accident. So this is a picture of a worker cleaning up after the accident. A woman who did not want to be named told the Times a Mercedes-Benz hit her car as she was leaving a United Oil gas station. Quote, I was getting out, had got gas, she said. All of a sudden, that Mercedes is coming at me on fire. I didn't have time to think about it. It hit my car. I veered, hit the bench on the side. The car caused her to fear a gasoline-fueled explosion, she told the Times. I bet you that scared the mess out of that lady. I mean, listen, y'all, like, this is too much. It's too much. It is too much. Nearby, Linton's Mercedes-Benz had crashed into the curb and come to rest. Like, what do you say after this happens? Like, meaning that the person who did it, this woman, I think her name is Nicole. Sis, Nicole, like, what you say after all this pop off? Like, did I do that? Like, do you have one of them Urkel moments where you're just like acting like you could, like you, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Let's continue on with this article. The cause of the crash was not immediately known, but the CHP spokesperson said investigators determined the Mercedes-Benz was traveling at a high rate of speed and ran a red light while traveling south on La Brea. At least 6 vehicles were involved in the crash, 3 of which were engulfed in flames, Pepsi said. The others sustained moderate damage. Mourners began to gather at the crash site Friday. Road crews were replacing the traffic signals that were damaged by the crash. Witnesses described a horrific scene. Aaron Hall has worked at the La Brea gas across the street for about 8 months and has seen several car crashes, but never like the one that unfolded on Thursday. Quote, everyone was just shocked, Hall told the Times on Friday morning. Some people started to run away from the gas station because of all the flames. Other people started helping the drivers in the other cars that were pushed to the side. I mean, I bet you that was scary because it's just like, all of this is popping off at a gas station. So all you're thinking of is, okay, a potential explosion because you got these already the fight. Like, it's just a lot. Then you're thinking like, well, yo, people still need to be helped, but though look where they need to be helped at. So it's just like, you just happen to try to react and not really do a lot of thinking. So either your thinking had you to flee the scene or your thinking had you to run to try to rescue people. What do they say? Fight or flight, fight or flight. It says at least 2 people ran out with fire extinguishers, Hall said. Henry Sanchez, who works at the Sinclair gas station, said the flames were out of control. At that point, it was just too late for people to do anything, Sanchez said. Look at this. It's like a body. Is this a body or something laying on the ground covered with the pink tarp? Lord. Oh, look at the car seat. Oh my God. A car seat and other items are scattered in the roadway in the aftermath of the deadly crash. Oh, my goodness. Before the crash, Sanchez heard the scraping sound of the car coming down the hill. I bet you that's like a sound from like, I was like, sometimes you experience things and there's a sound or a noise or something that you'll never forget because it was like the last thing you remember hearing before is just something just life-changing or traumatizing happen. It's like that thing. I imagine that sound is probably what this, this person is going to hear for a very long time. And all these folks will need counseling. Witnesses, people involved. Like, this is a whole entire mess. Noel Sr., who works at Little Kingston, Jamaican, heard a loud boom when he stepped outside his business and looked down the street. He saw a column of flames lapping up at the gas station sign. I can't even imagine, y'all, what that sounded like. There is nothing we could have done. Nobody was going to come from the fire. Like, when you seen that fire, you already know ain't gonna be like no movies with Terminator and then with somebody walking through flames. Like, that's it. quote, everyone was going through a process of not really knowing what to do and helping the best as they can, said Jamarcus Robinson, who had popped into the United Oil for a Powerade while going for a run. We saw a baby. There was a car seat in the street and the baby not too far out. I could barely sleep at night. I mean, I bet. Like, like how do, like I said, these folks gonna need counseling, because like, how do you can't unsee something you saw. Like, Veronica Esquivel told the KTLA TV Channel 5 that a baby came to rest in the intersection. One of the workers came and saw me with the baby and took the baby out my hands. Somebody tried to resuscitate the baby, but the baby was gone, she said. Wow. Like, y'all, I'm at like a loss of words. Like, this is a lot. Yeah. This is a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot. Let's see. I'm gonna switch over because I found the Daily Mail. Looks like they have a picture of an image called of the woman after the accident, the horrific accident. So let's just see. Let's just take a look at this image over here of her. Okay, so let's check out this before we get into these pictures with the Daily Mail's reporting on. It looks like it's some additional information that wasn't reported over by the Los Angeles Times. So this says, this is going to say, pictured ICU driver 37 who plowed through a red light and killed a pregnant mom, 23, her boyfriend and baby, along with 3 others in a fiery LA crash after a drunk fight with her partner. So it says that Nicole Linton, 37, was arrested after her car slammed into 5 vehicles at a Los Angeles intersection while she was allegedly drunk, killing 6 people. Pregnant Asheray Ryan, 23, her 1-year-old boy Alonzo, her unborn child, all died in a fiery crash. Linton, who according to a friend was drunk and fighting with her boyfriend, was also injured and taken to a hospital after destructive car crash that left 7 others injured. She has now been arrested and is set to be formally charged on Monday by the LA District Attorney. Vehicles in Windsor Hills, Los Angeles, were sent screeching across the street, bursting into flames before finally coming to a stop in a mangled wreck just feet away from rows of highly flammable pumps. One witness tried to save a baby who landed at her feet in the gas station. Lord, child, how you gonna have a whole baby? You there minding your business, pumping your gas, just looking through your phone, and a baby just lands at your feet. Like, what do you do? Like, again, how do you unsee that? How do you unsee that? So the article goes on saying ICU nurse was arrested after she plowed through the red light and killed a pregnant mom, her boyfriend, and the baby boy, along with 3 others in a horror crash while she was allegedly drunk and fighting with her partner. So Linton, 37, she's a nurse from Texas who works in Los Angeles, was taken into the custody for vehicle manslaughter. The police said she slammed into her car into 5 other vehicles while driving at 80 miles per hour by an intersection at Windsor Hills. So let's see if this article got, okay, so let's scroll down. So this is supposed to be her. Linton will be booked. She's released from the hospital. Linton will be booked after she's released from the hospital and will be formally charged by the Los Angeles County District on Monday. So this is her right here in the picture where it's circled. This is her sitting on the side. And somebody got, this clown didn't look like she had any major injuries to me other than the bleeding from her head. Like, oh my God. Like, I just want to know what she said. So it says, to Tabia Johnson, a witness to the crash, took a photo of the suspect, Nicole Linton Center, commenting that Linton only appeared to suffer minor injuries in the horrible crash. So this right here is a picture of the young lady who, excuse me, who did not make it. She didn't survive the accident. Asheray Ryan, 23, died in the fiery crash with her 1-year-old child and her unborn child. Tributes have poured in for the mother who was expecting another child this year. So sad. So this is her baby boy. Looks like Alonzo, 1-year-old baby Alonzo, was also killed in a horrific collision between South La Brea Avenue and Slauson Avenue on Thursday afternoon. He was really cute. Wow. This is sad. Tribute poured in for the mother after she was tragically killed in a violent collision. Her 1-year-old son Alonzo was also pronounced dead at the scene. The father of the unborn child, Reynald, also died in a deadly crash. He is pictured with Asheray. This is him right here. Remember, they were on their way to their doctor's appointment. The prenatal was at the prenatal appointment because she was pregnant. So these are pictures of this accident. This is a horrific moment. The Los Angeles driver Nicole Linton sent the row of cars hurtling towards another gas station over the road before stopped just before the pumps. So I guess this is where she came flying through and slammed into the car. Skid marks are seen on the ground at the intersection as investigators on Thursday evening tried to work out what had happened. Like, look at that. Like somebody was just doing donuts. You just see all these circles. This is crazy. This is insane. Witness Veronica Escoval said she was pumping gas when the debris suddenly started flying through the air during the horrific smash caused by the female driver who was alone in the car. She said that the baby tragically landed on the floor in the middle of the gas station before panicked workers tried to resuscitate the baby. She said, I was about to pump gas, and all of a sudden I hear all the noises from all the collisions and then the fire explosion, and I saw metal and things flying in the air. So I just covered myself behind the pump. All of a sudden, a baby literally flew from the middle of the intersection to the middle of the gas station and landed right on the floor in front of me. And the baby, y'all, was inside of a car seat. So the baby even was ejected from the car seat. I'm guessing, the baby was ejected from the car seat. One of the workers came and saw me with the baby and took the baby out of my hands. Somebody tried to resuscitate the baby, but the baby was gone. One woman who claimed to be a friend of the Mercedes driver said she believed she had been drinking after having an argument with her boyfriend before the deadly crash. So this is the accident. Let's play this video, guys, and see. Oh, let's see. Let's play this video. Imagine even those people who had just passed through that intersection and what may be going on with them as they're thinking about how they had just missed the accident. Like, it's crazy. Like, I know it's so many people who are just messed up by this mentally and emotionally. Crazy. Like, how do you get past something like this? Get over something like this? All those cars that was driving through that intersection and her crazy, but she just go driving through like she on a racetrack, like she at Andretti's or something, and just drive through. Too old, 37 years old. And I want to say, when I heard someone talking about it, they were like, she was, I think, tested, or they were saying it wasn't shown that for her to have been under the influence. I don't think she was under the influence. I don't think there was anything in her system. So it looks like these are more pictures of the young lady who lost her life, Asheray Ryan, and her baby boy, Alonzo. And this is the vehicle. And of course, the nut usually always survive, or, or barely have a scratch on them, because from my understanding, Nicole, the lady who ran and plowed into the cars, like, she's doing fine. Like, she's just fine. Let me see if I can find, because I know she should have, let me see if I can find. Okay, let's jump over, because I want to jump over to this news report where it looks like there's some people kind of giving an encounter after watching this accident. So let's see what they have to say. Fair use.
For a violent crash. Several people are dead, including a pregnant woman and a young child.
This video taken moments after that fiery collision, and we have new video just in, surveillance video showing the actual crash. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell live with our first look at that video. Amy.
Mark, 5 lives lost in this devastating and deadly collision. Many other people injured. I'm going to step aside so you can see the crash scene here. We're standing on Slauson. You can see a lot of people, a lot of police, and a lot of other people working at the scene at La Brea and Slauson. Again, debris all over the streets. We believe one of the bodies of one of those victims is still here at the scene. We spoke with a witness working in a nearby business who says it sounded like an explosion when this crash happened. And we want to show you some of the video that was taken of this crash. Again, 2 of the cars involved in the violent collision bursting into flames next to a gas station at the intersection of Slauson and La Brea. But look at this
unbelievable
video from gas station capturing the crash. A black car seen speeding on La Brea into the intersection. It plows into at least 3 other cars. We're stopping the video here because the collision is very graphic and disturbing. 2 of those vehicles again bursting into flames, thick black smoke pouring from the wreckage. 3 adults and a toddler were killed in this crash, and officials say one of the adults who died was pregnant. Now, we're told at least 6 vehicles were involved in the collision. Fire department rescuers and numerous ambulances rushing to the scene. 7 people were taken to hospitals for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. The CHP says the accident was caused by a speeding vehicle that ran a red light. Here's how one witness described the tragic scene.
It looked like the whole intersection from corner to corner was on fire. A lot of sparks from like electricity. So I just was under the impression that really at first I thought that they dropped a bomb on us. Yeah, I thought it was another world war had started off with that kaboom, but then I realized it was a car into the sign. And once the fire kind of went away, the electricity and kind of the booming left, I realized that it was 2 cars there. You could see the people on fire, and that's just sad, you know. I really pray for the family and the community.
The majority of the vehicles, as far as we know at this time, were traveling west and eastbound on Slauson. It was the Mercedes Coupe, is my understanding, that was traveling at a high rate of speed southbound on La Brea through a red light.
And back here live, we should tell you, traffic is snarled in this area. The intersection of Slauson and La Brea is going to remain closed for several hours as this investigation continues. And we've spoken to a number of people who've gathered here at the scene, neighborhood residents, really shocked and upset to see what has happened here. So many lives lost.
Crazy. Wow. It's very sad. Very, very sad. I want to say just this woman should have gone to court. I think I'd heard someone talking about that she'd gone to court. So let me see if there's any coverage about her court date, which should have been, I think, maybe yesterday. So let's see what we can find on this nut, because she need to get all the time in the world for this one. She need to never see the light of day. Okay, so let's see. Traveling nurse charged with 6 counts. Let's see what they talking about, because this right here, like, there's no excuse. There is no excuse for this. Okay, so let me jump over. I'm gonna share my screen to show what she over here looking like. It looks like, it's the picture I have for my thumbnail with her in court. The hell she crying for? Hell, everybody else need to be crying. Traveling nurse charged with 6 counts of murder after high-speed crash. So this was updated as of yesterday. So it says the traveling Texas nurse is facing multiple murder charges after running a red light and crashing into traffic while allegedly driving 90 miles per hour in Windsor Hills, California. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gaskin announced on Monday that Nicole Linton has been charged with 6 counts of murder and 5 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter for the multi-car crash, which left 6 people dead. Linton faces 90-year prison sentence if convicted. Yes, she need all of that, then some. Because to me, when she did what she did, she didn't care about nobody. To me, clearly, this was a woman. She was trying to take her own life. And in the midst of taking her own life, she had no problem with taking anybody else's. And as we see, she's sitting up in this cradle, just, with all her limbs. No scratches on her face or nothing. Like, police say Linton was driving at high speed in a Mercedes on Thursday when she blew through a red light at the intersection of La Brea and Slauson Avenues. Multiple vehicles were hit, and 3 of them were engulfed by flames in what authorities dubbed a fiery wreck. Linton from Houston is a traveling nurse who was working in Los Angeles when the crash occurred. Authorities are investigating whether drugs or alcohol were a factor. Killed in the car crash was Asheray Ryan, 23, who was more than 8 months pregnant, her 11-month-old baby Alonzo Quintero, and her boyfriend Reynald Lester. The couple were en route to a doctor's appointment when the crash happened. 2 other women who have yet to be identified were killed in another vehicle. 6 other vehicles were involved in a collision, including 5 people with minor injuries in an SUV and another driver in another vehicle. So, disturbed security cam of the catastrophic crash. So we'll play this. Fair use for commentary purposes. Let's watch this video that captures the horrific accident. Yeah. So let's see. Linton, 37, was seen in tears and in a wheelchair during her first court appearance at the Fultz Criminal Justice Center on Monday. Her brows were furrowed as tears streamed down her face, her left arm wrapped in a brace. She nodded as a judge denied her attorney's request for a $300,000 bail. So Marla Tellez tweeted, "Judge denies Nicole Linton's attorney request for a $300,000 bail. Linton reacts to judge ruling. Next bail hearing set Monday." So let's watch and see this fool's reaction.
Evidence of preventive detention is warranted in this case. So in other words, no bail. The court orders no bail set in this matter. And I advise Ms. Linton, you have the right and obligation to be personally present for future court proceedings. The trial, preliminary hearing, or other proceeding will proceed without you. If you refuse to be personally present, you have the right to remain silent during the trial, preliminary hearing, or other proceeding. Your absence from trial, preliminary hearing, or other proceeding will constitute a voluntary waiver.
So I'm confused as to what this fool was crying for. Was she crying because her bail was denied? Like, because it seemed like her feelings was hurt that they told her she needed to stay up in there. So it goes on to say today, I guess this is, in court, what they were saying. Today, we begin the process of holding accountable the person responsible for the deaths of 6 people, including a pregnant woman and their families, District Attorney Gaskin said in a statement. The case remains under investigation by the California Highway Patrol. Yeah. So let's see. What are some people saying? Here's some comments on here. See what the people are feeling about this situation. Somebody says, "I feel for those who make honest mistakes. However, going over 90 on those streets does not get my sympathy. That was a calculated speed and intentional." Like, I feel like, yes, like this, the murder charge, it should be something like, I don't know, is that called first degree murder, not manslaughter? Like, to me, this was some intentional type stuff. Bill says she had 13 accidents before this. Her prior history of reckless driving should have resulted in her license being suspended, which may have prevented this accident and deaths from occurring. Maybe people should look at the BMW courts and politicians as to why she was allowed to continue driving after so many accidents. So that was something I'd heard someone report on, that apparently she had a history, like a bad driving record, and she had other accidents. And it seemed like, the accidents would progress as far as the people who would be involved in them. So now fast forward, August 2022, she has this major accidents that resulted in people's lives being taken. So that's unacceptable. Like, that's something I'd like to know the answer to as well. Like, how was she able to still drive after having a lot of car accidents like that? I don't get it. And she was a traveling nurse as well. Like, isn't there some type of code of ethics that, as I always thought, people who are in the medical field, especially like doctors or nurses, there's code of ethics. You have like licenses and things like that. And if you don't uphold to a certain standard of living, then that can be put on the line and taken away. So somebody also said, I agree with their statement. Some people get into their vehicles and they take their personal issues with them, and the results can be catastrophic. So this is somebody who has some serious issues, y'all. June C said, this is sad. I am a travel nurse. To honestly God, I'd rather be late, fired than speed in a highway. She could have got another job. Well, that's true. But June, have you heard that she was rushing to try to get to work? Because it seems like, from what I'm hearing, she was just going through it after, I guess, getting into it with her partner or something like that. So June C said, especially to get to work, I drive like a turtle because I am not rushing to get to work. I work hard for my nursing license in Texas. So yes, that's great. That's awesome. That's very responsible. But, have you heard that? I'm asking actually if that she was rushing to try to get to work. Is that something that she's saying? Because I hadn't heard that come up as far as with her driving fast to try to get to work. It seemed like, they're saying, I guess a friend or somebody who knows her have come out and said that she had just, gotten into, I guess, an argument with her partner or something like that. So I guess she was just going through the motions, and I don't know, she just wanted to end it all, and she just plowed through the traffic like that. To me, rushing through work, given that she was going as fast as she was and through traffic lights, to me, that part doesn't make sense. I think I could go with that narrative if she was just on a road and an intersection wasn't involved and she was just speeding and ran into some cars. But to me, it seems more in line with, okay, this person just at that moment just didn't care and just he had this idea, this mindset, oh, well, anybody can get it. I don't care anymore. Kind of more of that thought. So definitely let me know, if you know more about this story, because I'm just kind of out here doing what I do with investigating on the internet and trying to piece all this mess together. And I have heard that, she has a horrible driving record. So let's click on this article right here that's talking about Mercedes, her driving record. Mercedes driver involved in 13 prior wrecks before Windsor Hills crash that killed 5, DA says. How, Sway? How is somebody involved in so many wrecks? Like, I ain't never even heard of nothing like that, and somebody still having a doggone driver's license. Have you? I ain't never heard of nothing like that. So let's see what they're saying over here. This actually came out today. So this is the Los Angeles Times. It says Mercedes driver involved in 13 prior arrests before Windsor Hills crash that killed 5, DA says. So this is her, Crazy Nicole. The nurse accused of killing 5 people last week when her Mercedes plowed into the traffic at a busy Windsor Hill intersection had been involved in 13 previous crashes. Los Angeles County prosecutors alleged Monday and charging her with murder. I don't understand, y'all. Let me just continue to read this article. Maybe it'll start making sense to me, because they done lost me with this one. Authorities revealed new details about the Thursday's crash and about the driver, Nicole Lorraine Linton, 37, whose permanent address is in Texas. So she done left Texas and came to damn LA with her mess. So permanent address is in Texas, and is who is currently renting a room in Los Angeles while working as a traveling registered nurse. Nuts. Lord Jesus. Prosecutors said they are reviewing multiple previous crashes linked to Linton, both in and out of California, including one in 2020 that involved bodily injury in which 2 cars were totaled. They provided few additional details, however. Linton's attorney, Halim Danita, listen, y'all see that? I don't know what that say. Asked the court Monday to continue her arraignment to October because he is reviewing her out-of-state history of documented profound mental health issues. Danita would listen, that's her attorney. I don't know how to say that name. Halim did not elaborate on those issues, but said the Windsor Hills crash could be linked to them. So listen, so if they saying she documented having mental health issues, then that means she should be documented of having some doggone prescriptions, some medications prescribed as well to manage that. Because still, you don't get a pass that, just because you have mental health issues, you still have to take responsibility and do what you need to do to manage those mental health issues. So I'm hoping that this woman will not get off on the fact that she has mental health issues. Y'all know normally when it comes to us, people, the melanated, we don't get off on issues like that. Now, the non-melanated, yeah, all day, y'all see, we see that. But sis got too much melanin. She might got some little loose curly hair, but it ain't that doggone loose. She got that melanin in her, gonna likely maybe have that part thrown out. And they can be like, nah, she was just crazy. She knew what she was doing. Clink, clank. We'll see you in 100 years. Surveillance video just before Thursday deadly crash shows a dark-colored Mercedes plowing into the La Brea Avenue, barreling down La Brea Avenue at high speed as dozens of cars crossed the Slauson Avenue, Windsor Hills. Prosecutors say Linton was behind the wheel. So it says the Mercedes does not appear to slow before running a red light shortly after 1:30 p.m. Y'all, when you see that accident on camera, it don't look like, I said, it don't look like somebody just rushing trying to get somewhere. That looked like somebody just intentionally just plowed into something, like the stuff you see on the movies. That stuff look intentional. Like, y'all know how sometimes you've seen a movie and somebody gets shot and they behind the wheel and now the car going by itself because they can't stop it because they dead, and somebody in the passenger seat trying to get the wheel. And that looked like one of them kind of scenes. Like she just, was no longer breathing, and then her car just kind of went plowing into the cars. But she was clearly breathing. She knew what she was doing. So that's what, makes this situation different. Sis knew what she was doing. Crazy or not, I can believe she probably, got some medications that she needs to fill at the local pharmacy. But clearly she wasn't taking it. And given that she's somebody's travel nurse too, she of all people know the importance of taking care of your mental health, especially when your job is to be taking care of other people. So you got to have your stuff together if you're trying to go and help somebody get their stuff together. I'm just saying. So it says let's see what else this article says. The light had been red for 9 seconds before the car barreled through the intersection, slamming into multiple cars, prosecutors said. The Mercedes burst into flames and hurtled into a light pole where it came to rest. After the crash, a streak of fire burned on the ground and billowing smoke could be seen from miles away. Prosecutors say Linton was speeding as fast as 90 miles per hour. It looked like it in that video. If y'all saw that video that I posted with her driving, like that car was going fast. I said, like that car, like, listen, sis was not on her way. Listen, sis was not on the way to nobody's job. I'm sorry. June C said that was suicide driving 90 in a highway. Sad part, her wrong action caused others to die and still alive. I always ask my wife why this always happens. Same thing being drunk drivers. And they always like walk away like they live. And they get, and then a lot of times when they happen, now I ain't never seen nothing happen on this level, but in times where it is a drunk driver and they, they end up taking somebody's life, a lot of times they don't really even get a lot of time behind bars. I want to say the person who was found guilty of killing Nicki Minaj's dad, because remember he was struck. I think he was walking and somebody struck him. I think it was a drunk driver or a man, but I think they said that man only got like 1 year. I think that man, they said he only got 1 year in jail for taking the life of Nicki Minaj's dad. Like, that's crazy. June C said mental health, the excuse used to get out of jail. Listen, yes, it be the excuse, but it don't be, like I said, I don't see it be working for us. So we'll see if it's going to work for sis, but I'm hoping it don't. But I don't too often see it work for, the melanated. The non-melanated, but the melanated, nah, with the melanated, you don't get no passes. They be like, you knew what you was doing. They trying to put us behind bars or put us underneath jail before we even go to trial. But with the non-melanated, on the way to jail, they stopping and letting you getting meals from Burger King. They giving you royal treatment. They not beating you up on the scene. They just going ahead, putting the handcuffs on you, slowly putting your head in the car, making sure you don't bump it as you get in the car. It's a different type of treatment they give the non-melanated when they do wrong. It don't be the same treatment they give the melanated. So I bet they did say, sis Joe bail $1 billion. They said it at a point to where they knew, traveling nurses make good money, but they made sure they made that bail set high enough to where not even her traveling nurse money can pay for it. I'm just saying, they were like, no, ma'am, you not getting up out of here. You're not getting up out of here. So if they saying she can face up to 90 years, I think whatever the heck they say she can face up to, my prediction is that she gonna get all of that. She probably gonna get some more stuff than what we even talking about what she can get. I think she's going to get all of that. So I wonder, like I said, while she was in court boo-hooing, what was she really crying about? What part was she really crying about? Was she crying about the part of never seeing the day of light? Or is she crying about the lives, all the lives that she's taken? I feel like it seemed like in that moment, she was crying about the fact that she wasn't going to be able to go home and take a hot bath, and get under the covers and watch Netflix. I'm just saying, I don't feel like that she was just in tears because of all the madness and the lives that she's taken. That's just my personal opinion. I'll share my screen again because here's a picture of the woman. I guess she's supposed to be a friend, I guess, of the lady Nicole who drove into the car. So this is a picture saying the woman claimed that the driver was her friend and that she had been drinking after fighting with her boyfriend prior to the deadly crash. So that's the friend. The friend, like, listen, sis was going through it. She was having man problems and she just reacted. But I mean, how many people have problems? It's no excuse to go out and act irresponsible to where your actions impact the lives of others. It's one thing you going out there doing the most and whatever you're doing is just impacting you. But when your actions start to impact other people's, and that's a whole nother situation. And that's one that there's no justification for. You grown, you know what you're doing. And especially given that they're saying if you didn't have 13 accidents prior to this one, man, at what point are you just going to be grateful that you able to get somebody keys and be behind the wheel of somebody's car? This is clearly a nut, a fruitcake, a nut. Like, I don't even know what to say. There's no excuse for it. It's no excuse. It is what it is. It's no excuse. It's very sad. I'm going to continue to kind of follow this story to see, how it plays out. I just hope that she don't get out and she's in there until she go to trial. And then them 12 jurors go ahead and say, guilty, and they don't even need to deliberate very long. She got to go. She got to go. We need to get her off the streets. We got enough people out here in the medical field, nurses that can go ahead and take that little job that she got in LA. Somebody else need a job, but she done lost out. She lost out. Chances of her going back to Texas, no, go ahead and get in this jail right here in LA. You messed up, life. So you gotta live with, we got to live with the decisions that we make. That's why we got to be responsible. And this is one that she has to live. I want to do California, do death penalty, that part. Like, this lady done took all these lives. I'm wondering what's going to be on the table as far as for her punishment, given the circumstances. June C said, "You right, we Black, no cars used. The whole story is sad. She was wrong. I know we are drivers. We do the speed limit because we want to have control. All the vehicles, no control, so doing 90. Listen, like I said, we it's a different kind of rules for us. We see this every day. It's not the same rules. We don't have the same rules. And I'm guessing that this lady, Nicole, got comfortable because she had been doing the absolute most for a very long time. And she was getting what they call a slap on the wrist. They were still letting her go ahead, I guess, still continue to drive. I really want to know what is the explanation because I think they're saying this poor driving record is both in LA and Texas. I'm curious to know, what was the explanation that allowed for her to continue to have her driver's license? Because I haven't read in any of the articles that her license were suspended, or that she should have been driving. Like, I ain't read none of that. Like, as far as she broke like any laws as far as what being behind the wheel. So to me, it seems like, she was legally able to drive. She was just driving recklessly. So I need the explanation as to why was sis able to even drive. I also need to know, what is the parameters pertaining to her job? Like, how is she able to still be operating and moving like this in these streets and still be a whole nurse? Like, make it make sense. I'm not understanding, y'all. Listen, those who just joined, thank you for joining. Please like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Because as I say, we real random over here. But we definitely get into it. And we are getting into it here, talking about Nicole Linton. Y'all, I need y'all to help me understand. June C been trying to help a sister out. I appreciate you. I'm trying to understand because I am so, I'm really confused. I'm confused by this whole situation. And it's like, the more I'm reading, the more I'm researching and investigating, the more questions that I have. It's not making sense. And it just seems like a common thing when we see people out here acting recklessly, doing stupid stuff. And then when you look at their past record, they should have been under the jail. They should have been like with a lot of the shootings. It's like you just see where there's a history there where there was reckless behaviors taking place. So it's just like, well, damn, how we get here? How was that stuff not dealt with before? Why are we just now having a conversation after so many people have lost their lives? I never understand that. And it'd be like documented stuff, y'all. These crazy people be putting this stuff all on their social media. Like, it don't even be no secret. It'd be people doing character witnesses. It's like, yeah, he being crazy. Yeah, his mama knew he was crazy. The neighbor knew he was crazy. But it's just like, why the hell we the damn last to know? The victims and the families of the victims. Like, why are we just now hearing about, why is this person still on the street? And this is no different. Nicole, she shouldn't have been able to be behind nobody's wheel. Like, she shouldn't have been. She needed she Uber, Lyft, whatever, taxi. She needed a driver. Clearly, she needed a driver. So I just feel like there's some type of responsibility that need to be held, like a civil suit. Like I said, these nurses, y'all make a nice little coin. Somebody need to go after all of that. So I don't even know what she would have even in hell for legal fees, because there's so much liability here. And then I'm wondering if the family would have even a case to go after just even the city or, wherever she got into those previous accidents that, if there was fault to show that she shouldn't even had her license. Do y'all think that maybe there's even a case there with a lawsuit? Uranus says she used her job as a traveling nurse, COVID, and being overworked as an excuse. Lord, listen, where was that one at? Because I was just reading her little, the information about the court hearing. And I didn't see that part. I didn't see. Let me see. Maybe I didn't go down further enough. because let me jump back over to this article about when she went to court. But nah, sis, nah, being tired. Nah, I mean, here's my thing. I'm all like, people do get tired, people be overworked. Like, I get that. But to me, there are far more people who have experience. Listen, there are far. Uranus said, I'm guessing. Listen, I appreciate you help me. You helping me, because I'm thinking it is a real thing to be tired, to be overworked, underpaid. Like, y'all, all of that is real. But there are so many people that experience that, but still don't go out and move recklessly. That's all I'm saying. People go through things all the time, but is it an excuse to ever act irresponsible? So Uranus says she lied, though. Listen, I'm gonna jump back over to that article for the court hearing and see, because I didn't hear anything about or read anything about what she had to say pertaining to, like, why she did what she did. But here's an image of, like, I guess the scene, where people brought the flowers and the balloons to the corner where the accident took place. Linton was hospitalized with moderate injuries, of course, because y'all know they barely had anything wrong with them. Y'all know how that go. What they always say, God take care of babies and fools. Mama, that's what I grew up hearing, y'all. Y'all ever heard that? God take care of babies and fools. You notice usually the fools continue to be protected, while, in the midst of this pandemic, we didn't lost so many good people. But them doggone fools, y'all know them fools still kicking it. They still thriving. It's just the craziest thing. It's crazy. June C said, I had read MSM news on her. She said she was rushing to get to work. I work 12-hour shift. I've been burnt out in nursing. I just take time off to do self-care. Self-care is very important. Yes, it's important. Like, listen, you're not driving 90 miles per hour going through a traffic light to try to get to work. I'm sorry. I'm just not believing that. Like, it's one thing to be speeding, but the part that she lost me with is how she plowed through the intersection. Like, to me, that's a lack of judgment. Like, that's on some other type level, because we see people speed all the time. Many of us at some point in our life have gone over the speeding limit, but we ain't trying to drive straight through going traffic like the cars just suddenly finna become transparent and you finna just be able to go through them bitches. Like, it don't work like that. Like, that's that part right there. That's just some insanity type stuff. That's the stuff that you don't see every day. You see people speeding every day, but guess what? Their ass is going to stop at that traffic light. They're going to at least stop there. And if they do run through a light, it's probably going to be yellow. It ain't nothing like what we seen this woman did. This woman did some stuff that you see like in the movies. Like, you see that in the movies. Like, this ain't no norm stuff. So I'm not going with that one right there. She tried it, though. Uranus said, I agree. I think she used being tired to get out of getting her license taken. Her stop story. That's probably, how she in the past, but 13 times. Come on now. Like, okay, I don't know the details between the first, but listen, when we getting up to 13, like, come on now. No. If it's that serious, then sis, you need to find you a new profession. Like, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to find you a new profession, because clearly this ain't working out for you. This is not working out for you. And then when you are in this field, like, okay, from my understanding, like, okay, don't work as many hours, drop down to part-time. I don't know, but go get you another gig if you feeling like, okay, you're having to work too many hours. Do something. But what you're doing, operating and moving recklessly in these streets, that's not fit. That's not a good excuse. I can't rock with that one. I cannot. I can't rock with it. So let's get back into this article, because I see some other information that seems to be pretty interesting. Let me move this comment off the screen. And so it says the charges. Linton was charged on Monday with 6 counts of murder and 5 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter. The vehicular manslaughter charges are for the deaths of the 4 adults and the baby who was about 2 weeks shy of his first birthday. Ryan's unborn child cannot be included in those charges. So what charge we can throw in for the unborn baby? Because remember, according to the doggone Supreme Court, like, hell, you pregnant, that's a whole life. Y'all know in Texas they got it going on. If y'all seen the story with a pregnant girl, she was driving in the HOV lane and they like, okay, we're your second passenger. She like, right here. They said where? She said in my stomach. Y'all said that it's a whole life. So this is my passenger. So get out my face. Like, you know, so sis got a whole lawyer and everything. This is a non-melanated woman. She got a whole lawyer and everything trying to get that ticket thrown out because she like, listen, which way y'all want it? Is it a life or is it not? So I'm wanting to know, okay, why we can't throw this unborn child in the charge, because it's a whole life according to the Supreme Court. I'm just saying. Linton faces up to life in prison if convicted of all charges. Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Natalie Stone denied her bail, which previously had been set at $9 million at the request of the district attorney's office, which said she is a flight risk. Yeah, if this fool running through lights at night, yes, she's a flight risk because she don't care. So yes, she is a flight risk. Linton was set to leave LA and travel to Hawaii for work, prosecutors said. Listen, y'all let this woman go right now. She's sure gonna be on her way. Her crazy ass to be on her way to Hawaii. Like, she's so crazy to where I can see her picking back up on her travel plans. Like nothing ain't never even happened. Trying to sip in a pina colada or something on the beach. I'm just saying, this woman is nuts. This woman is crazy. What the hell? Babies' lives matter. Right. Like, that's something like, well, what? Okay, y'all got a whole nother charge. Babies' lives matter. Yeah, hashtag baby lives matter. Listen, I need to understand what kind of charge we finna have for this unborn child. Because y'all just here recently, I learned that they have approved. I think they said now child support can start right now while the baby is still in the womb. So child support can start while the baby in the womb. If somebody take the life of the mom and there's a baby, like that can't count as a life. Like, I'm confused. Listen, baby lives matter too. Hashtag, let me see. Let's go back to hashtag baby lives matter. Okay. Cuba. Listen, I don't like that they don't want to count the baby's life as part of a life that she's taken, but she did take their life. But here's the thing with the other lives that they are, charging her with. If she's found guilty, she's not getting out. She's not getting out. So that extra life sentence that she could get, that we would like for her to get for that unborn child, it's likely sis ain't gonna be around to live out that sentence anyway if they give her 90 years and she's already 37. June C said, I know she would have to live with this for the rest of her life. Her shoes are hefty. She is going to be known when she get in prison. Yes. Just like, so would she have to be under protective custody? Because I remember just growing up always hearing about like men who like did things to kids and stuff like that. Like, they be like, listen, them inmates, like, they don't play. Like, if you come in there and you in here for a crime that had something to do with that doing something to a child, oh, you're done. And then as of late, I've been hearing where it's even like that if you did something to a woman. But I don't know, because it seems like these men be doing stuff to women all the time. So I don't know how true that is, if they got a moral compass when you do something to a woman. But I've always heard about like when you do something to a child and you land up in the system, they coming for you. They are coming for you. So she might have to be under some type of protective custody and be in isolation and things like that. For her safety. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't feel sorry for her either. I'm just saying, I mean, if y'all do, let me know. But I just can't. I can't sympathize with sis. I can't. Like, I can't. I'm flabbergasted. Like, it's too much. Like, I just can't. I can't. There's no justification. I'm wondering what is going to be the argument for the attorney that she has. I wonder, is she paying for this attorney, or is this like a public defender? Like, what is the argument going to be? Because this would be a tough case for this attorney to fight, especially with her previous driving record. Like, I don't even see how they can even possibly try to come out on top with this one. I don't understand. So let's see what some of these people are saying in this comments on this Yahoo page. Let's see. Rodney says 13 previous accident crashes. How does or did she afford insurance, or more likely driving without any? I mean, if or I pretty much anyone else have a clean driver record, pay our premiums on time, and have even the smallest fender benders, insurance company either raise your rates to see an excessive amount or drop you. How was she able to continue to operate a motor vehicle? Like, yo, like, clearly I'm not the only one confused by these. The people want to know, like, how Sway, just because, like, they're saying just from a financial point, how was she able to, like I said, maybe is that why she was putting in all them hours? Because hell, she had to pay her car insurance bill. Like, reckless, she just lived a reckless lifestyle. And to me, with the way she's moving out here in the streets, it's no wonder that even just say when it comes to her personal relationship, why it was in shambles. She's a loose cannon. She's mentally off balance. So how do you look for a person like her who's mentally off balance to maintain a healthy relationship? How, Sway? How? June C said, I can't sympathize for her either. She should know better. Don't speed and no driving when intoxicated, period. I'm with you on that. Bruce says your license is supposed to be suspended if you get too many points on your driver's record. So something failed. Something failed. That definitely needs to be investigated, because I feel like for these families, there is a chance for potential lawsuits for multiple people. I'm just saying, because to me, the ball was dropped. So Brusoff said, if you accumulate too many points on your driver's records under the negligent operator treatment system, or NOTS, the DMV will put you on driving probation for 1 year. Your license will be suspended for 6 months if you receive 4 points in 12 months, 6 points in 24 months, or 8 points in 36 months. You can accumulate points for a variety of reasons, but you typically get points on your driver's record as a result of minor traffic violations, for example, speeding, being at fault in an auto accident, and for a serious misdemeanor or felony offenses such as DUI, hit and run, reckless driving, and vehicular manslaughter. Big Goat said because she didn't care, not about anyone or anything but herself, she either didn't have insurance and didn't care, or she had the kind of everyone approved liability only insurance that costs an arm and a leg and still didn't care. She demonstrated wanton disregard for the value of others' lives, and it cost them and not her. Throw the book at this. Listen, Big Gulp, I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that one. No sympathy here. I said what I said. So like I said, I'm going to watch this. Definitely like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Like, are you like, yo, free Nicole? Sis was just late trying to get to work. She trying to earn a living out here in these streets. She had or you like, it ain't no excuse. Throw the book at her. She never needs to come out. Replace her with Brittany Griner. Bring Brittany home. Put Nicole behind bars. Like, what are your thoughts? I want to know. The people want to know. Uranus, good video. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. But yes, I do thank you all. I just want to know. Drop a comment, and yeah, probably jump back on here later, touch on something else, y'all. It's so much going on out here in these streets, but I definitely had to come out here and cover this case because it was just so heartbreaking, just as I learned the details. And the more I read about it, the worse it got. Like, it's just like, listen, and I'm from, a little fun fact, unless if you're not new, if you're new here, like I'm from California. So like this story, this is my home state. All this is popping out. So I'm like, listen, like I'm really feeling this one. Thumbs up. Thank you, Uranus. Please, yes, please thumbs up this video so we can get it circulating so the people can know what's really going on here in the streets. Y'all protect yourself. As they say, when you drive, you got to drive for not just for yourself, but you got to drive for other people as well. Pay attention, look around. In this situation, the way this nut came plowing through, like nobody could have done anything to protect themselves from it. It was nothing you could do. It was just literally one of those situations to where you just have to you just literally just sat and just watched. And then the people who were impacted didn't even see it coming. Like, do you think any of them people in the car seen that coming? You barely even see it coming just watching the video. You can barely see it coming because the car is going so fast. Like, it's the craziest thing, y'all. It's like a doggone movie. Bay Area. Yep. Bay Area. I'm from Bay Area. Yes, I'm from the Bay Area. And listen, LA, that's just a skip and a hop away. So, California is home for me. And I had to get on here and cover this story. So if y'all got any new information, definitely come back. Drop a comment. I like to read the comments. And listen, it's just a sad situation. Already starting the month of August out. It's just sad. You got a lot of people to bury in the coming days. A whole family has to be laid to rest because of a single reckless individual. And this is all for something that could have been prevented. That's the sad part about, because there's so many things that happens in life, y'all, that you cannot prevent. But guess what? This isn't one of them. This was definitely preventable. And I just hope that this lady spends the rest of her days thinking about her negligence, her poor behavior, and just living with the fact that 6 lives have been lost because of her. Because of her own selfish actions, because this was all out of selfishness. Okay. Whatever you're going through and with your relationship or with your job, like, that's personal. And people sympathize with people who got things going on with them personal, but not when they are so caught up in themselves and their own world to where they don't give a damn about what they're about to do that's going to impact somebody else, that somebody that don't even know what you're going through. These people didn't know that she had just, quote unquote, got into it with her man, or if she was saying, oh, I'm late to going to work. They don't know none of that. But now, guess what the family of their loved ones know is that they're no longer with them anymore. They're no longer with us on this earth anymore. It's just it's just a sad situation. So everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, move responsibly out here in these streets, and love on one another, and just give a damn about the next person. How about that? Like, listen, can we just give a damn about the next person and just not be so self-absorbed? So again, please, thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. I will drop the links to the sites that we visited, to cover this story. And, Chic is out. I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.